Well, good morning, everybody. You doing all right? Yeah? Come on, I need a little energy. How's everybody doing? Good. Listen, my name is Seth Freeman. It is an absolute pleasure to be here. I get the distinct privilege of leading up the Bath & Body Works brand from the integrated marketing and media side. And today is all about brand love. So I'll let my panelists introduce themselves, and then we'll get into it.
Hi, everyone. I'm Caroline Hulbert. I'm a regional director over at Yelp, so I lead our West and Midwest divisions over there. I'm also our DEI lead at Yelp and a Yelp brand ambassador. So I came here from Los Angeles. Thank you for welcoming me in Ohio. It's my second time here. It's a beautiful city. I love it. So nice to meet everyone.
Hi, I'm Jenzen. I'm with Teads. We're an ad tech company, which we'll talk about in a little bit. I sit here locally in Columbus and work with many of you in the room, and I'm excited to have a real conversation today.
I'm Scott Cervone. I'm with Airship. We help engage with your customers wherever they want, where they want, how they want, and also delivering the experiences that they expect once they get the messages, the promotions, information they want from you.
Hey everybody, Chad Reynolds, founder, CEO of Vurvey, which is short for video survey. No one really ever knows that. But so we're an AI platform that helps brands create always-on connections. And we'll kind of talk about how that works. But we primarily work with companies like Taco Bell, Adidas, as I'm wearing Nikes, and lots of other brands. So just to create this like always-on connection with consumers, and excited to share a little bit more about AI and how that can help create love.
Yeah, for sure. So thanks for the introductions. So again, we're talking about brand love today. And when I got the invitation, I just want to say thank you to the great folks here at Brand Innovators for the invitation. I said, you know, I don't want to sit on the panel and be answering questions. I want to ask the questions today. All right. So I want to put other folks on the hot seat and see what we can come up with. So like any good moderator, as we start talking about brand love, I was like, brand love, like what can we talk about? Brand love in this age of artificial intelligence. And I was like, how does that really work? Can you really create brand love in this artificial place of what's happening out there? So like any good MC or moderator, I went to ChatGPT to get some questions. And I asked it, I said, what questions would you ask if you were moderating a panel for brand love in an aura or in an age of technology? And so I had a few questions that came up. And they were actually good questions. I anticipated they were not going to be very good questions, but they were. So the first is around, what does brand love mean to you in the context of today's AI-driven marketplace?
Yeah.
Panelists.
Yes. Okay. So I don't use ChatGPT. I think it's great, but does anyone use Bard? Okay, good. I was like, that's Google's AI. So I love Bard. You should try Bard too. It's awesome.
Okay, I'll try.
Okay.
I'll do it.
So at Yelp, we actually have. Do people use Yelp here? Raise your hands if you do.
Everyone does.
Great, thank you.
They'll be afraid to say no.
I know. I want more hands next time. But so download Yelp, use it. But basically, what we did is Yelp's been using AI for 10 years now. Generative AI is the newer version of AI, right? So we actually started integrating that a couple months ago. So what they do is, there's 3 ways that we think about consumers. The first way is they go to Yelp, they have a high search intent. So if you think about it, it's almost lunchtime, right? People go to Yelp, they're typing, what do I want for lunch? And then the second way that we think about the consumer is, how do we actually connect them to specific brands? And then the third way is actually connecting them to the brands, right? So we utilize AI for all of those 3 experiences. So basically, if I'm thinking about what I want to make for dinner tonight, and I want to make curry, right? Instead of putting just curry and then finding you that local restaurant or that local store that has curry, it'll actually be more informative in the sense it'll say like red curry, green curry, right? Yellow curry. What type of curry do you want? Do you want Indian curry? Do you want Japanese curry? And then it sources all of the reviews. It also sources all of the content that's on Yelp. So imagine all of the pictures, all of the information, all of the recipes. That's all curated to give you a better experience. So in terms of brand love for us, it all starts with the consumers and how people search. And based on how people search, we want to give them the most immersive, correct content experience. And that's how we've leveraged technology to do that.
Great.
So I'll get into how Teads leverages AI in a little bit. I have a sizzle reel, so I'm kind of cheating because I have something that can prompt me. But from a personal standpoint, I mean, at the end of the day, whether you're marketers or salespeople, we're all consumers, and I have actually myself adopted using ChatGPT. At first, I was like, I don't really know how to use it, or is it going to be beneficial to me? And I give the example that I love Sherwin-Williams paint, but I mean, 250 plus lines of shades of white. So we finished our basement this summer, and I was literally like, the amount of anxiety I had about choosing the right shade of white is a little ridiculous, and maybe I should reset my priorities. But I had 2-hour-long conversation with ChatGPT because I think I hit the point where my neighbor was annoyed having the conversation about what paint shade I should use in my basement, and I settled on the exact color. I just kept asking it questions over and over and over, and I feel like that experience is a little bit of a silly example, but it just further tied me to the brand. Where again, like, I'm already leaned in. I know I want to interact with that brand. I know I want to use that brand, but I just need some help. So I was able to curate the expertise across the web, do all the research with the magazines, publications, designers on my behalf. So highly recommend. I don't remember the shade. How ironic is that?
Scott's wearing all of them all at once.
We just met.
Just one shade of black. So.
So I guess I'll take a different, AI is very fundamental to the platform. How do you connect with customers, where they want, how they want. But, AI plays a vital role in one part of it. When it comes to brand love, AI can help you get part of the way there. You've got consistency, convenience, value. All the data you're collecting about customers can help you get you there. But brand love, I think, for me, has just a different opinion. Brand love means more than loyalty. You need advocacy. When you purchase a product, this is a terrible. I feel like I hear Amazon used up here so much that, like, I don't want it to come across as a cliche. And if you saw my wife's credit card, like, they've certainly created loyalty with her, but
that's your credit card too, by the way.
Yeah, good point. Thanks, Seth. But where I'm going with this is that, once they receive the products, like, what creates brand love, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, is the connection that you and the others around you have with the product. Not just that it was delivered on time at great value and it was convenient for you. It's that product resonates with those around you. And, like, Bath and Body Works is an amazing example. Like, when you walk into a house around Thanksgiving, pumpkin snickerdoodles is smelling through the house, or apple cider, like, that touches other senses. So my answer is in short, is that AI can help you get there, but I think it's everyone's brand priority to make sure your senses are connecting with the customer once the product is, being worn in the house, on display. That's all.
That's great. Is everybody familiar with love languages? Yeah. So a like in love, or brand love, has always been for brands more of a transactional, gift giving, right? So you know that a brand loves you because they gave you discounts and points, and but it was kind of like you were earning that love. Generative AI specifically can unlock all those other love languages, because it can take on the form of, it can be personalized, right? And now I can start to spend time with it. And so for me, generative AI, because it's literally everything that we're doing, is we can help, we're helping brands unlock those other types of love that we all experience and feel. Discounts are great, but that doesn't necessarily unlock loyalty. It's all these other dimensions of love that we can now experience, we can create for everybody around us.
Yeah, that's great. Two thoughts. Side note, what was that, snickerdoodle? A pumpkin snickerdoodle? Definitely going to be our next fragrance. I gotta sign us up for that one, my friend.
He said it's real.
Yeah.
It's a scent.
It's coming. But, like, so I'm going to go to the Jerry Springer side of my moderating capabilities here, because as we were
fighting who?
Come on, like as we were talking and trying to plan content for this, we started having conversations, and I was really fascinated by this idea again of love. How do you do that when it's artificial intelligence? And it was a good conversation around no, it's not artificial. We think it's real, and it's not a tool. You know, so talk to me about like making emotional connections when I believe that it's artificial, and you're saying it's not artificial.
Why are you looking at me?
Because you said it, man.
Yeah, so I mean, I think AI has pretty much been getting a bad rap of it being artificial because like we're in the very early innings, specifically with generative AI. You know, all the use cases that primarily brands are working on are mainly based off of productivity gains. So kind of like summarizing content or generating images, you know, things like that, or coming up with questions. These are all great because they solve the blank page problem, but you know, we're just now starting to get into the second wave of AI, and specifically AI agents that can take on the personality, the much deeper, richer history of who you are, what you care about, how you want to receive information, how you want to give it. They can have a personality, a voice. They're in your pocket, and so. For us, I think it opens up this authentic relationship with someone. And you can pick and choose how you want to experience brands. Today it exists kind of like as a singular voice, but whenever you go to a store, you hope to get the right salesperson that can direct you and guide you in a specific way. And I think with AI, you now can. You can pick who you want to talk to. You can train them on your history. It has a ton of context and how you give and receive information. Again, we're all just in like kind of the first wave of here's how I use it personally to help me. We haven't even touched on a lot of the opportunities that brands have to start to create those personalities that exist in the consumer world. So when I go to buy a pair of running shoes, I can talk with the 3 or 4 associates, and I hope I have a good one who has running experience and all these kind of things. But what if I could scan a QR code on a running shoe and actually select the person I want to talk to that is kind of like starting their running journey early? Here's like the pain points I have. Here's what I'm worried about. And it can all of the advice it can do is give it personalized just to me. I don't have to look dumb asking someone questions. I can create it me. And it doesn't stop after I buy the shoe. It can now become your running coach and coach you through all these different scenarios. So there's so much opportunity out there for AI, and it definitely, for me, it doesn't feel artificial because these are real experiences that I'm having, and it can be dialed into who I am, and it can be private, which above all is what I think we're all after, is these private relationships that brands can help me achieve more personally.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's a great point. I think as most of us here are marketers, right? And so I think we all understand that. Oftentimes, consumers aren't making rational decisions. They're making, sort of very personal, emotional decisions when it comes to products and services, et cetera. So talk to me a little bit about, like, how does sort of that emotional connection, how are you guys thinking about making emotional connections in the context of this age that we're in as it relates to technology, AI, et cetera?
Yeah, so for us, everything on Yelp is basically curated by the users, right? So if you think about it, you go on, if a user goes to a restaurant, they have a really great experience, they're gonna write about that experience, right? They go to Bath & Body Works, they smell this pumpkin snickerdoodle scent.
Snickerdoodle, yes.
I gotta go smell it. I was telling Seth that my scent is Vanilla Noel and they discontinued it, so that's my kind of like brand love language to bring it back, right? But so like, our users go in and they actually upload the photos, they upload the reviews. Yelp is very, very specific to that, where we don't change any of that. What you see is what you get, good or bad. Like when I partner, some of my partners like, take off that review, and I'm like, I can't do that. Like, it's just, you gotta fix that, right? So that's how we kind of keep that very organic and original to the consumers, and that experience is, we wanna make sure that it's an organic, authentic experience, even if some of the reviews on there might be poor, but utilizing the smarts of AI to be able to make that a little bit more efficient for the platform.
Does someone from BI have the video? My Teads video? Yeah. If you just want to play that for a second, because one of the reasons I was so excited about being on this panel is that each of us really has such a unique product offering, and we're using and leveraging AI in unique ways. So Teads is a little bit more pragmatic because we are an ad tech company. So you'll see in this video in just a moment, we own the ad slot about 2/3 of the way down the page. We also have CTV. So if you're reading an article from InStyle or BBC, for example, our ad slot is about 2/3 of the way down the page. We own that slot. So we've garnered a lot of over 1 billion data points over the past 15 years. So if you don't mind playing that really quickly, and I'll walk through a couple of key highlights and how we bring that to brand love.
At Teads, AI is more than our backbone. It begins with machine learning, fueled by 150 billion data signals sourced from over 3,000 premium content partners across 15,000 sites. This powers every step of the media journey, from content creation and placement to optimization. For more efficient creative production, meet our AI Creative Lab. It seamlessly morphs your brand's assets into distinct ads, adjusting to any format with a simple click. Now your campaigns aren't just smart, they're alive, adjusting on the fly. Teads Data Suite, powered by contextual intelligence, includes robust tools like Media Barometer, Predictive AI, and Cookieless Translator. Together, these tools build better campaign planning and ensure unparalleled targeting precision. Now your brand can own the moment, own the audience, and own the screen. With the right context, your brand can be everywhere, from mobile to CTV. And for our cross-screen publishing partners, our goal is to optimize monetization at every turn. We empower their decision-making, paving the way for sustainable, incremental revenue. With Teads, you never compromise quality for performance. Elevate your branding journey from awareness to conversion, hitting lower funnel KPIs. Teads is driving the outcomes that are redefining media. Teads, we connect AI to ROI.
So we like to say that AI is not a buzzword. AI is the backbone of how we leverage our machine learning and our data. So there's 3 key points in how Teads is leveraging AI. Number 1, from an optimization standpoint, so we're able to make changes in real time, and the system can deliver, based on the KPIs, what creative's performing the best. If one KPI is outperforming another, budget can automatically be shifted and allocated as such. That's why I said 2 of these 3 points are boring. The second one is around audience segmentation. So we've been able to leverage AI to combine both our cookieless and our contextual solutions, so we can reach that consumer in a unique way in a cookieless world. And then third and most exciting, we know that 2/3 of a piece of creative and media's effectiveness is based on the creative. I'm sure there's a lot of creative people in the room who would definitely agree with that. So one thing we're really excited about that the video ended on is the ability to customize creative in real time, leveraging AI. So the best example I can give you is that instead of just serving a car ad in the right place at the right time to the right person with the right message, we can do it. For example, you're reading an article about a city guide on travel and leisure. That car ad in the background has skyscrapers and is dynamically served to you based on the content that you're consuming. Or if you're reading about a guide, you want to go on a road trip through Ireland, it can automatically start pulling in those mountains, those greenscapes, those rivers. So it's delivered to you in real time. And I think to answer Seth's question, it's bringing it to a more personalized standpoint. So we're not just the days of right time, right place, right message is table stakes. It's how can we be dynamic in that, and how can we personalize that in real time, not manually having a planner enter it and change it and optimize it. It's happening as consumers are reading that content.
Got it.
I love it. Is that on? Yeah. I was just going to echo what you said because I think it was perfect. I talk to my team a lot about, and the brands that we work with, there's personal and personalized. Personalized has been around for a while. Not to date myself, but over a decade ago we started. Yeah, I'm approaching 50, but we started talking about personalization years and years ago, and effectively what it was you would slap their first name on something using some sort of logic based on their authentication ID. And then you would use, based on what they clicked on, let's show everything else that was correlated to that. People who like this also like that. It was very, very simple. We've come a long way. I think it was 150 billion data points. So we've come a long ways where, personalized is very different. Personalized is very different than personal. Personal means you're bringing in context. Historically, what have they done? What have they done in that session? Where are they? I've had a dinner a couple weeks ago with somebody that's building an application that if a user turns on their camera or gives the camera authentication, when they're on their app, when they're on their phone, it can see where they are, who's around them. Are they with family? Are they in a room with people they just met? And it can take that data and actually spin out experiences, engagement touch points, products that are based on what's happening in their life. Some of that's scary, and probably a whole topic could be around privacy and building trust with customers with this data. But love what you just said is a long way of saying it.
What was the question again?
Just say whatever
I'm
you
here
want.
for comedic relief. So I think with, so let me talk through some, just different use cases for marketers. So as we roll out different agents for marketing teams, the kind of the classic persona, it's like the slide that you have, like, meet Jane, she shops here, and there's a couple bullet points, and then you go into a workshop, and you're like, how am I supposed to create ideas for Jane? Or and so it all falls very flat. And so what we started to do was, well, what if we could find 1,000 Janes in the world, and we could launch video surveys to her, collect all this data, and now we can create talkable personas, right? So think of in your pocket, if you use our app, you have Jane, you can actually talk with her about her life experience, generate new product concepts and ideas. You can innovate with the consumer literally all the time. And so that's kind of the magic, I think, that generative AI specifically can unlock, whether you use it internally, where it's not, it's not ChatGPT. Like, I want to talk to my consumer. I don't want to talk to ChatGPT. I want to talk to my consumer. And I want to come up with unique and novel and interesting ideas together with them. And I want to do it after I put my kids to bed at 10:30 while I'm watching Netflix. I want to do it anytime an idea comes. And so what I think like AI can unlock is this always on relationship. So whether it's me as an innovator, I can now ideate. I don't have to wait for a workshop. I can ideate on my phone with consumers. I can also create experiences for consumers where the brand is now always on. It has a voice, it has a personality. And I think those are just the kind of the spectrum of opportunities there are to create these really unique experiences where, yes, it could be scent, but it could also be, I need an advisor to help me pick my, the 50 or 250 shades of white for my house. You're going to give the AI context. This isn't a form you fill out. You're actually conversating with an agent. And you can build them, like I know behind the scenes we were building agents in a few seconds. Yeah, I built Seth as an AI
Also
agent.
built me, but it was a little off.
But you can essentially build these like helpers for you in a moment's notice while you're at the store, who understands you and your context, and the data stays with you. So there's so many really interesting ways that AI can take a shape. I hope I answered your question because I totally forgot what it was in the beginning. So I hope I'm directionally there.
Yeah, you're in the area code, my friend. It's all good. So listen, as we wrap up, one last question for you. I think about a quote that I heard like last week, and it was, as we think about AI and folks are kind of scared of AI, how do you play with it, et cetera, what is it going to do? I heard this quote that creative will be automated, but creativity will continue to flourish, right? Which I loved. I was like, man, I dig that. So as you think about that context and personalization and what it means, what technology, AI, et cetera, means to consumers, any parting thoughts as it relates to what you're offering up and how you're enabling creativity, how you're enabling personalization? Because you've all talked about this idea of personalization in a really relevant way. So any parting thoughts there?
Yeah, I think for us, because it is curated by the user, like even if I look around this room, like everyone is so different, right? We have men, we have women, we have people wearing green shoes, green suits,
Come on.
right? Like it's
Can
just
we pause for? Can we do a commercial break?
I
My man
know.
Nealon, I met him earlier. We had on green shoes, and he brought the suit. It was like, good gracious, man, that's a bad suit. I love it.
Yeah, no, and I told Seth, I was like, oh, I got the memo. We're wearing green shoes today. So
Yeah, there you go.
So that's a part of what we think about consumers and creativity, and everyone's unique and everyone's an individual. So as you engage with the content and upload your photos and write the reviews, and we've actually created a new product, which is on the Yelp home screen. It's almost like a homepage takeover where we partner with brands to build that immersive experience. So they partner with AI companies, right? And then they bring that to Yelp, and then we showcase it. So we want to be able to have that authentic creative experience. So again, it all comes from the people and the users, and then that to us is like where we create kind of that like loyalty and brand engagement and making sure that it's not too robotic and things like that.
Got it. Perfect.
I don't want to give the same answer, but I think I'm going to give the same answer that I just did. I think it really is, again, thinking right message, right place, right time. That's old. No, we can't play there anymore. That's table stakes. If you're not doing that, that's a problem. And I think, I kind of dismiss points 1 and 2 in terms of how we're optimizing campaigns and reaching audiences as boring, but they're fundamental to what we do. And really, again, that blend of the cookie list and the contextual audience and making sure we are able to anticipate through that predictive targeting who exactly we're talking to, who is that consumer, what are their interests, what articles are they reading. I am a mother of 2 little kids. We can talk about that later over drinks. So I'm reading parenting content a little bit. But I'm also really passionate about, fashion, obviously, figuring out my house. I had a whole conversation again with ChatGPT about redecorating my media room, which, by the way, the links they sent me did not work. But that's the human element, right? So I can go find those products on my own and use that filter. I'm an intelligent person. I can kind of get where they're going with these are the things that you should add to your room. Anyways, whatever, side. But I think, again, now I forgot the question. What was it? Doesn't matter. Just wrap it up. Stop talking. You cannot give me a mic. I like having a mic. I don't get a platform in my house. Okay. Okay. Right message, right time, right place. But I think that, again, that dynamic creative and creating more personalization on the fly when people are really ingrained in that content. Oh, the content I'm reading. So, I'm reading fashion, home design, all those things. And then how can you dynamically reach that consumer, the exact consumer who you want to target, Megan in a workshop, and then serve them with the creative that's going to help bring them that much closer and connect them with your ad or with your brand. I just blacked out. I don't know if that made sense, but
So
yeah, too much paint.
I'm sure everybody has seen I think it was like a Vogue article about the new consumer journey or new customer journey that like for Gen Z, right? So some of the new part of this journey is all about inspiration and creativity, right? So they want to participate in the brand. And so instead of launching forms of like submit your idea here, there's so many opportunities for you to engage millions of consumers out there who actually want to create ideas with you. This has been relegated primarily for influencers and creators, but literally when you start to look at your consumer as a creator, they have your product in front of them, and that is your innovation pipeline. We need to give them a channel and a voice to create these things. It's not a form. Again, it goes back to a transaction. I gave you my idea, now you have it, what are you going to do with it? There's so many opportunities to leverage AI to create that relationship so that that pipeline can go out to hundreds of thousands of people. And so your innovation is essentially your consumer group. It's your audience. How do we create opportunities for them to create ideas with us? And it's not a submission, it's more of following up and like you gave it, like thanks for this idea, let's build on it together. That's where AI can come in and actually be that companion to change the relationship that we're having as like brand marketers and consumers. So so many opportunities around that.
Yeah, man, I love, like, you hit the companion thing. I think it's fantastic. So listen, as we wrap up, thank you so much. Let's give a round of applause for our panelists here. Did a great job today. Hey, before we close out, as someone who is relatively new to the Columbus area, they say the best way to make friends and influence people is by giving away free stuff. So we've got some Bath & Body Works products as you are leaving today. So just want to give a shout out for that. And thanks for your attention. Have a great one.
Thank you. That was excellent.